In this video, I'm going to teach you the tips that helped me get 8.5 in IELTS speaking. Tip number 1. Use conversation fillers. If you want to speak English in a native speaker style, you must use examples of conversation fillers. These are words, phrases, or merely sounds that we use to give ourselves thinking time before we answer a question, especially if we don't understand it. If you are asked, for example, what are the advantages of working in an international company, you can begin your response like this. Actually, I've never really thought about that. Well, I suppose the main benefit is blah blah blah. Tip number 2. Don't repeat the question. Paraphrase it. Otherwise, you will be penalized for copying the language in the question. When the examiner asks you a question like this, do you like Turkish food? Don't say, yes, I like Turkish food. You should say, yes, I am a big fan of Turkish food. Tip number 3. Give longer responses. When you are asked a question like, do you like cooking? Don't say, yes, I like cooking very much. For a higher score, you should give a detailed response like, yes, I am a big fan of cooking. My grandmother taught me how to cook when I was only 10. However, I have to say that I fell in love with cooking during my university years. Tip number 4. Use linking words, connectives, discourse makers, and fillers to improve your fluency score. They may be described as the glue that binds together different elements of your speech. Look at the sample answer. What do you like about your hometown? Actually, I grew up in Adana, and you might not know this, but Adana is famous for its meat dishes. So I suppose I would have to say I'm quite into its Adana kebab. In fact, all over the city, there are lots of restaurants serving delicious Adana kebab. Tip number 5. Don't avoid the question by talking about something else. This situation happens quite often in the speaking test. If it happens frequently, then your fluency and coherency score will be reduced. Tip number 6. Use less common vocabulary, as they would have a positive effect on your vocabulary score. In this example, the word big is a very basic adjective, so you can replace it with enormous, which is an uncommon word. Tip number 7. Use a range of tenses and sentence structures. Don't say Adana is an enormous city. Adana is famous for its cuisine. Instead, you can say Adana is an enormous city which is famous for its cuisine. Tip number 8. Use idiomatic language. The IELTS speaking assessment criteria focuses on how well you can use idiomatic language from band 7 and upwards. So if you want a higher score in IELTS speaking, use idioms. Try to memorize some common idioms that are used in daily conversations. And tip number 9. Don't forget your body language, eye contact, opinions, funny answers, original content, and appearance are not marked. So just focus on your responses. Thanks for watching. If you have any question, you can ask in the comments and subscribe to the channel for more videos. See you soon.